Spelunky is back in its long-anticipated sequel, Spelunky 2, that builds upon the first game in pretty much every way while adding some new gameplay elements, such as mounts, new different types of levels, and the multiplayer that is going to be implemented later. There's local co-op right now, but they are trying to do an online multiplayer later and are pushing to encourage people to play it on Parsec in the meantime. Looking at 3 weeks or more, so end of October, early November, hopefully. It just released not too long ago on PC, so Parsec is hopping a lot more now with Spelunky 2. I played the original, not multiplayer at all, and beat it in the easy way as well as the hard way, at least like 2-3 times, I think, playing it through the hard way. But never multiplayer locally. So I was eager to check this one out, and holding off possibly doing a review later because I want to really check out the multiplayer first. But it's been a blast. It's even more hilarious to me in all the different ways that you die, and fun just adjusting to the random circumstances where you accidentally die. Since you're playing with people, they'll throw something, it'll bump you off, you'll land on some spikes, or you'll be distracted by what's going on and just accidentally kill yourself. Of course, the question is, how well does it run on Parsec? 4-player, and functions exactly the same way as local co-op, just like any other Parsec game. You have 4 players. Whoever jumps in first, normally they are the host's character that the screen is fixated on, meaning that even though the other 3 characters can walk off the screen from the level, they can't see what they're doing once they leave the white flag host characters screen. I've been having issues with the chat with my computer too. When I'm the host, when I'm joining, then I'm able to click on it, but it doesn't show up otherwise. Everyone else, though, has been able to chat with me. As the host, though, I haven't had any problems. It's been running fine, not really any lag, and it rarely happens. And most of the people do stick around, whether they have lag or not. Key bindings you have for both the controller as well as keyboard and mouse. It's as simple as just taking control. Everyone has control over the menu that you're able to jump back and then switch to whatever button presets that you want. And you can even end the game or restart a game if you want. But this hasn't been an issue of people dying, being sore. They understand that it's Spelunky and you're supposed to randomly die, and it's often out of your control. So that factor, the player factor anyway, hasn't been an issue where games randomly quit. If you're hosting a game, it's worth buying to play through Parsec, mainly because you're not dealing with the lag, and players do stick around. For me, it's a bother because of that light amount of lag. It gets old, but you can adjust it based on how good your PC is and what kind of players that you get. But you'll have some playing with you. I thought the white flag screen locked around the host, or whatever character has a white flag, would bother me, but it's not really much of an issue. It just forces the players to kind of stick around you, and these maps aren't that big that you're going through. So it's mainly an adjustment of play style. Big problem, though, is the lag for longevity, playing with other people. Some I know aren't sticking around because they're dealing with too much lag, and then you have that. Sometimes players can rejoin up, sometimes they can't. It's not a seamless experience. So you're not going to have the max amount of characters playing because of that. Whereas if they have online multiplayer, in theory, you should be good where everyone has a good connection, and then people are going to want to stick around. The other thing, though, too, with the white flag part is they're not going to have that once they implement online multiplayer. Everyone can go their own way and do what they want, which should make it a little bit more fun, that you can really explore the map. You can technically do this anyway if the host character does take his time and go to each region, but this never happens. So it'll add more to the randomization. So the kind of caveat here for this being a recommendation is if you are not the host, which you're not buying the game, you can just do it and you can play it right now, then you can still check it out, playing on PC, of course, unless you can get it to work on the PS4. You can still check it out, but you're probably not going to be sticking with it for too long. If you're just sticking to single player or local co-op, it's even better than the original. They went in the direction of building upon the first Spelunky rather than reinventing the wheel with new mechanics, or you're not going to have a different approach to the first game. It's just you have mounts, more items, different levels, new enemies, and it is harder right away from the get-go with the enemies that you're going to be facing immediately, along with some familiar ones like you're seeing here, like the bat. But if you are a veteran of the first game, like I am, there isn't going to be the surprise that way, like when you played the first Spelunky, especially like with me. I didn't know it was a roguelite where if you die, you start over immediately. So there isn't that surprise, but it is a better game. And if you're playing local, you're not going to have any of those issues with lag, and you still have the secrets and everything that you're going to be discovering. The only thing that they did add, though, was the community as you progress and capture more, or capture free more of the other characters than they show up when you restart a game. So check it out. If you like this video, please give it a like, dislike, give it a dislike. I'd really like to subscribe, and I will see you next time.